talk about rich media.
Okay, people.
Am I on here? Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, let's talk about rich media. What that means is all the things that you can add to your profile that will make it far more interesting for people who find you and that will demonstrate your expertise. So rich media.
Things like videos, PDFs, graphics.
They will catch the attention of searchers and buyers. Imagine you're a buyer searching LinkedIn for sellers in your specialized niche. If your search results in 2 profiles, which one might compel you to look more closely? The profile with data, sheets, demonstration videos, and other eye-catching assets, or the profile without any of that? The presence of rich media in your LinkedIn profile can help others more easily understand your company's value proposition at a glance, while also demonstrating your expertise as an adept sales professional. So LinkedIn supports many different types of files, PDFs, for instance. Videos is a huge one, JPEGs, PowerPoints. And I just want to say for a moment as well, how many of you create PowerPoints for your businesses? Anyone?
Or slide decks.
Lots of you. So here's the thing. Microsoft owns LinkedIn, and they also own SlideShare, which is another platform where you can post PowerPoint presentations. And that's another place where you can increase your profile on search engine optimization for your LinkedIn profile. But in general, if you post your specific slide program that you've created with PowerPoint on SlideShare, it's again another platform which is linked to LinkedIn that will get you more attention. The type of rich media that probably has the most impact right now is video. Video has gone crazy on LinkedIn.
And in general on the internet. So raise your hands, how many people have videos for your company and produce them on a regular basis? And how many of you ever seen Gary Vaynerchuk? Heard of him ever? Look him up on LinkedIn, write the name down, Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Go to his profile, add him, follow him. The reason I'm saying this is because, and the story behind him, and I met him about 6 years ago, his company owned one of the first online liquor and wine stores, and it took the sales from like $300,000 a year up to $6 million a year in only like 4 or 5 years. And one of the things he did, besides posting on Twitter a lot, was he started creating these videos of wine pairing and doing other things. Many of my clients are telling me at the very beginning, when I tell them to do videos for their company, oh, I don't want to do a video, I'm not sure what to talk about, they won't look that professional. Don't worry about it. You'll see the videos he does is like on the cuff with his mobile phone usually, not with like expensive video equipment, but he's posting information and education about what he does and specifically what problems can he solve. Now he owns a big media company, so get on your phone, buy a selfie stick. I bought a couple of myself recently that have like a little remote button on eBay. They're like $4 or $5 each, or Amazon. And start creating the content you can post on your LinkedIn profile on a regular basis, during also posting articles, because that's what people are seeing nowadays. And we'll talk more about later on, videos that are done well, that give people some information, education, not just sales videos or marketing videos, are getting huge engagement. Absolutely huge engagement.
So I just have to take time to give a commercial here for Fran and Cher of Vivia Digital Films. Raise your hands, please. These fine people own a terrific video company here in Calgary, and they are actually in the business of creating videos, marketing videos, corporate videos, but also documentaries, you name it. But they are also teachers of how to use video, how to create videos using your camera, your iPhone or your Samsung Galaxy, whatever it is. So they are pros at this. They can help you out. So talk to them if you're interested in video for your profile.
Awesome.
So where do you put the rich media? When you're in the editing section of your About and your profile, you will see where you have that little blue pencil at the very bottom of the box for your About, you'll see a box that says Media, and it will say Upload.
And scroll to the very, very bottom, you'll see it. And also, do me a favor, send Rochelle and I a connection request. Everybody, just look at our names from LinkedIn and send us a connection request.
So if you're in the edit your profile screen, edit your custom URL is the top box. We've already covered that. That's where you go to change your URL. Below that is edit content, okay? So you hit that button, the edit contents, and it'll take you to this screen that says about. So this is the very beginning of my about section. And you hit that little blue pencil again, and it will take you into where you edit your summary. And you'll notice that right below that, it says media. Add or link to external documents, photos, sites, videos, and presentations. So here's where you upload your videos, your PowerPoints, documents you've written, whatever, okay? And then you have to remember to hit save, obviously. And that's how you create rich media that you can add to your profile. Okay.
Now, I will say, unfortunately, LinkedIn is far behind the curve of Facebook as far as doing things like adding links to websites and having them work properly and naturally and easily. They're getting there, but you know, if you don't see your website address on your profile being put together properly, it's because LinkedIn is like far behind the curve.
Right. So experience, this is the section where you talk about all the places that you've worked and what you've done, the sort of the resume section, if you will. What not to include in your experience section. Note, if you are using LinkedIn profile for a job search, include all your relevant work experience, including early summer jobs that you did while you were in university, if they reinforce skills that you are trying to highlight and promote, okay? Because don't forget, you're not just trying to tell people about your experience, you're telling them about the skills you have and where you developed them. Maybe completely unrelated to your field, but you're highlighting that you have these skills. Recruiters look for consistency in work experience and take note of large gaps in your work timeline. Now, I've actually gone on to webinars about this very thing, and that is, well, what if you were sick and you were out of the workforce for 5 years recovering from a car accident or whatever? Well, different people have a different view on how you handle those gaps. Some say you actually put in a description of what you were doing for that 5-year period or 2-year period. You say, 2010 to 2012, recuperating from a serious car accident or whatever. And that's all you have to put in, because then the recruiter is going to look at that and go, oh, okay, that's why there's a gap, okay? Or you say, me and my spouse took a trip around the world for a year, or whatever that is. But don't leave the gap, okay? Unless you were in jail. That's a whole other thing. I don't know what to do about that, okay?
Personal growth, yeah.
Personal growth, yes. If you are a business professional, you do not need to be as thorough with including all of your experience. If you're using LinkedIn to promote your business and who you are, you don't have to put in that for 6 months in between jobs, you worked at Home Depot in the paint department, okay? You don't have to put that on your LinkedIn profile if you're using it to promote you as a professional now, okay?
And that also gives, yes, go ahead. Yeah, we're going to cover that. Yeah.
Make sure you describe achievements, initiatives you took to move the company forward, and the value you bring to your clients. So again, this is where you do not ever, ever, ever say responsible for, okay? Even if you're not looking for a job, it's still a bad idea, because it doesn't tell anybody anything. It just says that's exactly what your job description said. So what? Okay?
And then go back to company here.
Your entire profile should point to the benefits of working for you.
And they go save.
So that's why it's so important to not just say what you did. It's how you did it and how the effect it had. What was the impact? You increased sales. You innovated a process in your workplace that resulted in far more efficiency, or whatever it was that you contributed value.
So 1 second here. Jill just had a great question. She asked me, how to get a graphic or logo onto your experience section. That's only if you have created a company page, which we'll cover later on in the presentation here. So if it's grayed out, that means you have not created a company page, or you haven't properly connected your company page to your profile. And we'll cover that later on.
Good point. Your profile is not a resume, it's a sales tool, okay? So if you're not in the job search mode, you don't have to view this as a resume. You use it as a way of garnering clients' interest in you to become a client. Here's experience section. Now remember the heart doctor. This is his experience section. What I want to point out to you, 13 years and 1 month, and he gives the span of time there, 2007 to the present. 13 years as founder and president of his HeartFit clinic. That's his clinic. Then below that it says cardiac rehabilitation and heart attack and stroke prevention director. That's a mouthful. And it gives the same years. Well, that's because he was doing, his HeartFit clinic was also involved in this particular activity. Below that it says professional speaker in heart health. Same span of 13 years. See, this is the kind of thing you can do on LinkedIn, right? You can play in your sandbox. It's not a resume that you would hand in to a recruiter. But what it does is it establishes this guy's authority. For the last 13 years, this guy's been busy. Not only that, look at all the YouTube videos he's got there as the rich media under his experience. So that's the other thing. You can put rich media under each one of your experiences in addition to putting it under your summary or your about section. Okay? This is another person, she's done the same thing here, the same span of years, or overlapping years. She puts all the different things that she did. This is what people who are self-employed do, right? We do a whole bunch of different things. And she's listed them all out separately. Rather than putting one big title for herself, she's broken out specific things she's done and created an experience paragraph for that. And again, it's a way of demonstrating her credibility.
And not only demonstrating credibility, but also being found on LinkedIn and Google for those key phrases and those different experiences also.
Exactly.
So think about this for a second. Within what you do for your business, can you break apart the major services or major things you do in your business? Like, let's say you have 4 or 5 things that people can buy separately. Create a different experience for each one.
Exactly. So in the editing your profile section, you'll see that you can actually add profile sections, which also means you can delete them. But you have a range of choices here. You can add work experience. You can add an education section. You can add licenses and certifications section, if that applies to you. You can add volunteer experience if you really think that that's of benefit, and I would actually say it largely is a benefit to show that you're involved in the community. You can add a skills section. So there's a whole list of things that you can add to your profile, okay?
And LinkedIn usually has a bar at the very top of your profile to tell you how finished your profile is. So if you see a bar there that says your profile is like 75% complete, has a little drop-down arrow, they'll tell you what to finish.
So what to include and not to include in your experience. Include full or part-time roles where you stayed a significant amount of time and colleagues will remember you. Why is that important? Because you're going to go back and invite those colleagues to give you an endorsement, right? So think of the places where you worked and you had good relationships with your colleagues. You're going to go back to those people, hopefully they still remember, and they're going to say, yeah, I worked with Fred, 3 years ago, he was awesome, blah, blah, blah. Roles that provided you with valuable experience and demonstrates your knowledge of industry. Your previous career path. Now here's the thing, if you had a career change and you think, well, I don't want people to know that, or I don't think it's important that people know that I used to be a mechanical engineer. Then I got laid off in the oil patch, and now I'm running a travel agency. So do I need to put the whole oil industry thing in there? Yes, you do. Why? Because It demonstrates your experience. It demonstrates that you're a solid professional with great experience. Is there anything about being an engineer that has anything to do with being a travel agent? No, maybe not, but it shows you've got leadership. It shows you understand teamwork, all of those good things, right? So even if you've had a career change, it's still important to include other previous careers, okay? All roles undertaken, especially in the same sector, as it shows your depth of experience and knowledge. Don't include career breaks that detract from your overall personal brand and message. So if it's a career break that takes away from your profile rather than possibly enhancing it, then don't include it. Part-time jobs during education if you are now established in your career. We don't need to know that you are a waiter at Earl's, okay? We really don't. Use unrelated part-time jobs used to support your developing career, like I just said. Temping assignments, if you worked for a temp agency that lasted less than a few weeks, you don't really need to include those kinds of experiences. Education. Always include your education degree and certificate and the most recent one first. You know this from how you create a resume. Same idea. Always include the name of the institution and the year you received the degree. So now here's a question that I get from clients when I'm writing their LinkedIn profiles, and I also write professional resumes. And they say, well, ageism. I don't want people to know that I graduated from the University of Montreal in 1962, right? Because they're going to do the math.
What's wrong with that?
And they're going to figure out how old I am. Well, guess what? It's great to be old. It shows experience. If you are showing value in each of those experiences and demonstrating what you did to change the organization, to help the organization, you're going to be demonstrating value. And I know what you're thinking. They're going to look at your age and go, they cost too much. I'll buy. I'll go after the 35-year-old. Thank you very much. Well, okay, if that's how they think, then you don't want to work there anyways, right? So I say phooey on ageism. Be old, be great, be proud. Woo. That's what I say, okay? You don't have to listen to me, but that's what I think, okay? All right, don't use the name of your before your high school. Don't go back before high school, okay? We don't need to know that. This is the add profile section. So even below the skills now, see there's a drop-down button for each of these when you open it up. You can get to accomplishments, additional information, and supported languages. So supported languages means?
It means what language you speak, basically. So if you're an interpreter for the UN, you want to put all the languages you speak.
Yeah, because obviously that's an asset. Yes, Mark?
Yes, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can move the
drag 'em.
sections.
There's a little set of like little lines on one of the sides. I think it's on the left side. Just grab the line with your mouse and then drag it up or down.
Yeah, so you can rearrange the sections how you want them.
I'll help you out. Go ahead, yourself.
Okay, in the accomplishments section, when you open that up, you see all the possibilities for accomplishments. You can add publications if you've published in magazines, for example, patents, courses you've taken. Now, you can put the courses here under accomplishment, or you can put courses under education section. It's up to you. Projects. If you were involved in a huge project,
Maximize window.
what if you left your job for a couple of years to work on the Calgary Olympics bid, for example? That would be a great project to stick in here, right? Honors and awards, obviously, if you've done those. And test scores. I cannot for the life of me think of what test score you would ever want to put on LinkedIn, but nevertheless, they let you do that. Let's talk about LinkedIn groups. So LinkedIn members can manage up to 30 groups at a time. Manage meaning that you started the group, okay?
It's your group.
You can start a LinkedIn group and invite people into your group. You can manage as many as 30. That's a lot. You can join a maximum of 100 groups. You'll need, if you get up to 100, you're going to have to leave one group before you're able to add a new one, okay? Be strategic. Don't just join groups of people who are just like you. Now, you actually do want to join groups that are like you. Why? Because you're trying to establish your name within your own industry. okay? So you do want to join groups of your industry professionals.
But I'll tell you 1 second where it is. But also you want to join groups where your target market, your customers live. So think about that. Where do your customers hang out? What kind of groups will they join? Those are definitely the groups you want to join as well. We'll find that in a second here, okay? I'm going to just show them for a second, okay, Rochelle?
Sure.
So here is Mr. Jay Fizette's LinkedIn. He let me use it here. Nothing at all? That's weird. Tom? Okay, you know what? I'll put the PowerPoint back on. Basically, you go on to, can you see it now? Okay, let's see if this works here from current slide. Now we all get back on again. So, obviously my Chrome is working here properly. We'll fix that in a second here. But at the top right-hand side of your LinkedIn, it has a, let me find someone's LinkedIn here just to see where it is. So we're here. So click on the drop-down menu that says work. Okay? And you'll see their groups right here. Groups, there it goes. So drop-down menu on the right-hand side says work, and then go to groups. And then what you want to do is put the key phrase in there. Let's say you want to join groups in Calgary. Type the word Calgary in the top of the LinkedIn navigational bar. And then you'll see it refreshes again. And then on the left-hand side where it says people, click on that. It'll refresh again. And then the drop-down menu it creates afterwards, you can go to groups at the very bottom.
So if you're a woman in business, you want to join women's business professional groups. If you're a woman who's in finance, you want to join
So just type in
women's
Calgary
business finance groups as well as general ones. And you want to go, like Alan said, where your customers are. You also want to join groups where you might find strategic referral partners. These are people that are most likely to refer to you. You're not in competition with them. You're not in the same industry with them. But these are people that know people that you want to get to. So referral partners, you join those groups as well.
So once again, top of the LinkedIn navigational search bar, type in the key phrase, let's say for instance Calgary, the page will, then press enter, the page will refresh. Then on the left-hand side where it says people again, click on that, the page will refresh again, and then it'll create a drop-down menu at the very bottom as groups. Anybody not get that? Raise your hand, I'll come over and help you.
So to join a group, you go to the group and it will always say request to join.
People again.
And then someone will vet you. What does that mean? Guess what? That means they're going to look at your profile and they're going to go, do we want this person in our group? Whoever's the manager of that group is going to go and look at your profile and say, does this person look like they fit with our group and why would they want to join? And then they look at your profile and they go, oh, this is a great person. Yes, we definitely want this person in our group. And then you'll get a little email back from them in probably in 2-3 days, maybe a week. Sometimes it's longer, saying, hey, welcome to the group, okay?
Almost there. Yeah.
I don't know what happens if they reject you, because I've never been rejected. I'm sure it's not pleasant. But anyway, it just probably says you're not accepted.
Enter.
Now, here's the key thing with groups.
Got the menu.
When you join groups, this instantly expands your network. Why? Because when you post on your profile, all the people in that group now see your posts. This is fabulous because this is, again, how you build credibility and authority in your industry is now your stuff is getting seen by the 200 members of whatever that association is that you just joined.
Anybody see my post on any group they're joining on LinkedIn for the workshop here, Adele? Anybody? Yeah, Chris did. Okay.
So groups are a great thing. Don't ignore them. Spend some time really thinking through who you want to join, which professional associations you want to be a part of, because now they're going to see your posts. And you're going to see theirs too. So take a few minutes right now, investigate the group thing, do searches on things that, words that might give you the groups that you'd be interested in. Start with your own profession and then work out.
Okay. 5 minutes, yeah, do a 5-minute thing. Anybody have any problems finding that again? Raise your hand, I'll come over and help you out, okay? Okay.
Everybody here found the groups?